Sasha Wise here from Sasha Wise Speaks, and welcome back to my channel. It's good to be back and it's good to have you back. So it's been a little while, I'm going to say 2 weeks. I've had a little break. I didn't upload any videos. Please forgive me. I think I just wasn't in the right place. I needed a bit of time. Yeah, I suppose I'm quite new to this all still, and I'm still learning. So please have a lot of grace with me. So this video I want to talk about the difference between narcissism and self-confidence, like real self-confidence and self-esteem. What the difference between the two are, because they're not the same. Narcissism is very, they can appear to be overly confident, but actually they are not very confident when you strip that layer back. They actually often have lots of insecurities. A person with a genuine, healthy self-esteem is very different. So we're going to explore this in this video. For example, they can say, narcissists can be more interested in getting ahead as opposed to getting along. So that's a good example, I think, to set it up to what we're going to be looking into. As humans, we are relationship-centered creatures, and we need to be able to work together to have a successful world, you know. So when you have narcissist energies, it could even be countries, you know. This country in the UK could be considered narcissistic at times when we think we're better than other countries, and you know, other countries like the USA could be similar. So narcissistic energy doesn't necessarily have to apply just to people, but it can apply to countries, to a population of people, to a race, you know. So this is where we're gonna explore narcissism in a bit of a depth and see where we end up. So I would say that narcissism is kind of like an outside-in type of confidence, where they use people around them or situations around them to try to regulate their own emotions. So their own emotions could be not feeling very worthy. So for that reason, they need to feel like they can be above people to make themselves feel more worthy and more able and more confident. You know, imagine like a puppeteer with a puppet on the string, and the puppeteer, if they can control exactly what the puppet does, the puppeteer feels very good. He's very good at his job. So this is similar to a narcissist, and whilst someone with a very healthy self-esteem is more of a confidence that comes from the inside out. So they're able to regulate their own inner world, and they're able to, you know, it doesn't matter what people around them are doing, if they are following their lead or not, you know, because they have a sense of worthiness and value that comes from within. So that's the opposite to a narcissist, I suppose. If, for example, a narcissist can put somebody down by belittling them or criticizing them excessively or making them just not feel good enough, then the narcissist will feel better about themselves, you know, whilst someone who has a healthy self-esteem doesn't need to do that. And actually, the person with the really healthy self-esteem has a sense of purposefulness. So they feel that they have purpose in their lives. So they don't need to have anyone as an accessory or as an attachment to try to uplift themselves. A person who has got a very healthy self-esteem is someone that is okay by themselves, that can self-regulate their own emotions. You know, the funny thing with narcissism is that they can use people a lot. They can make people feel used, and they can genuinely just want someone just for a specific thing that they can add to the narcissist. That could be beauty, success, accomplishments, that could be knowledge, that could be, you know, anything, absolutely anything, a skill. So if the narcissist is able to associate with a person that they feel that has that thing that makes the narcissist look better, they will. But they will do it, they're really doing it only for that purpose. They're not really genuinely caring about the person. They're caring about what the person, you know, how the person makes them look, you know, or what they can get out of the person. And someone who has a healthy self-esteem doesn't need to do that. The person with a healthy self-esteem basically loves people for who they are. They genuinely feel that people have the right to be valued and loved just because they're human. And that is the reason why they will associate with somebody. If you are associated with somebody and they still have that added skill that can maybe help you in your life, that's a different story altogether. That's okay to want to associate with someone who you value anyway, and then the person, you help each other to grow. That's beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. But it's when you specifically spot someone, think, that person would be good for me for this, and then maybe you pretend to like a person or pretend to maybe shower them with compliments just because you want to get particular skill from them, or whatever it could be. So when you specifically point out a person and you try to trick them, let's just say trick them into being associated with you, that's when it becomes quite sinister. So the narcissist may have an end goal. It may be like, okay, let's take the workplace for example. They may want to get promotion and they may not want to do the work for it. So they may try to manipulate somebody who they see as weaker than them, and to manipulate them to do the workload for them, and then take the credit for the workload. Be like, oh, I did this. This is great. And they don't mind lying. They don't mind deceiving. They don't mind cheating. They don't mind manipulating. They don't mind doing whatever it takes for them to reach their end goal. Because in their mind, they're the most important, and no one else really matters, like, to them. They don't really have a moral code, or if they do have a moral code, they choose not to use it. So I look at narcissists as someone who are probably quite lower on the scale of empathy. So they don't have that much empathy. They may pretend to have empathy. It's another trick for you to believe that they are someone that they're not. And I'm not saying these things in a way of like pointing my finger, because I don't think that's the right way to approach this subject. Yes, this narcissistic personality disorder is actually a mental health problem. It's one that's very difficult to get help for, and many people do not want help because they are in that place where they say narcissists are the most unlikely to get help and the most unlikely to be treated. So they're in that place, very in their own little world, and obviously, like, even for like a health professional to get through to them is like extremely hard. So I'm not expecting to get through to anyone, because actually I am just someone that is not a mental health professional. So I do not claim to be one, and I'm not out here to shame or ridicule anyone, because it's not my intention. My intention is just to be truthful and to say my observations about my experiences, and to maybe, I don't know, drop a seed of hope into someone, maybe? I don't know, I hope so. But let's look at someone who's not a narcissist, someone who has a healthy self-esteem. They will have a moral code that they will abide by, and that would be good. Hopefully it's one that involves not hurting other people, because that's the goal, really, isn't it? At the end of the day, I believe narcissism stems from either trauma, where, people have to put on a front in order to protect their inner person because they feel like the world is so unsafe, or it comes from, parents overindulging their children and maybe spoiling them a little bit and making them feel like they are the most important person in the whole world and not to care about anyone else. So I think it can come from one of those two things. Maybe there's other reasons as well that I haven't thought of. But from my observations, if it is trauma linked, it's very difficult, because there's a lot that comes with that. There's just a lot that comes with that. For example, as a Christian, I don't particularly want to harm anyone. When I speak about narcissism, I don't want to make anyone feel bad, especially if it's trauma-based. Like, we need to have a bit of compassion, yet there needs to be strong protection for those who are affected by narcissism. We've described different things that happen. For example, lies. People lying, a lot to get what they want, or to get accomplish their mission, let's say. That's not good. And the victim of the lie is going to be in a bit of a turmoil, and that's not fair either. So I feel like the way to handle someone that you believe has narcissistic tendencies is to have very strong boundaries in the issue. Honesty can work, possibly, but the chances are you probably won't come through. I think prayer is more effective than words in this particular issue, because it is such... How are they going to understand? How are they going to believe what you're saying if they are quite cynical regarding the whole world? They don't necessarily trust anyone. So why would they trust you? So this is how I'm looking at narcissism, where if it is based upon in trauma of protecting yourself, and maybe they want to hurt other people because someone's hurt them before, which is, very sad, but very a healing type of response. But you're never going to get healed by hurting somebody else. You're never going to get healed by that way. So if it is like that, what can you actually do? There isn't much, and this is where it becomes quite sad. It becomes like, okay, this person has so much potential, but they're in the place that they're at, and nothing you can do about it. Whilst you have someone with a healthy self-esteem, they want to live from a place of authenticity, and they want to live from a place of realness, where it's not being about being fake. Narcissism isn't just about being fake. It is, like I said, a condition. So it's not like that. It's just that it appears to be fake because they're just showing you like a very two-dimensional version of themselves, the one that they believe will get the most results from you, and that's just not fair, But someone who has a healthy self-esteem doesn't really want to live in that way. They want to live in a way that is healthy, in a way that's beneficial to people around them, or where they can just be okay, like even on their own, they don't really need other people to make themselves feel good about themselves. It's not like the best way to live, is what I'm trying to say. I don't even know if I'm having too much compassion on narcissism, because I feel like it really just destroys people's lives. It completely destroys people's lives. Like, this is probably my fault, where I feel like too compassionate probably towards people who have narcissism. So I'm like, oh, okay, underneath all of that, I'm sure that there's some good underneath all of it. And I'm sure there probably is. The best way I would describe narcissism energetically would be like a black hole where all the energy goes into it. And maybe the person around the narcissist is like an energy source, like the sun, for example. So all the energy comes from the sun and it goes directly into the black hole. And it's a one-way street, and there's no two-way energy going back and forth, which is why they can be very draining to be around, or to interact with, because it's just one way. It's like, even if they are, appearing to be helpful to you, it's still one way energetically, so maybe the energy doesn't lie, and that's the truth. So really, you are helping them, and then that's it, energetically anyway. So this is why it's like really hard to know how to handle narcissists. At the end of the day, narcissists don't feel worthy, and at the end of the day, they look at others beneath them because they are trying to help themselves self-regulate their sense of unworthiness. Whilst people with a healthy self-esteem don't need to do that. They have healthy self-esteem, so they don't need to do that. They can look at people as equals, and they don't have to put anyone down to make themselves feel better about themselves. And that's a really strong way of knowing the difference between narcissist and someone who's more healthy on the spectrum. You can say, okay, but you being honest is putting someone down. No, it's very different. And just make it very clear, it is very much about intention. You know, if you are being honest to help someone, to bring somebody up, that's a very good thing, as opposed to making a dig at somebody to bring them down. And it's an issue of like, what is somebody's intention when they are speaking to you? You know, are they trying to pull you down into a pit, or are they trying to lift you up and help you to be better, or show you the right direction of which to go? And that's the difference between truth telling. And God is very honest. God is all about truth telling, but God is not putting you down when he tells you the truth. God is trying to show you the truth, like the scripture says, the truth will set you free. And that's what God is trying to do. Whilst a narcissist is trying to say their version of the truth is going to put you into bondage. You know, it's going to make you feel bad about yourself. It's going to try to erode your own self-esteem. So I was thinking the other day, the way to handle best anyone in your life that is narcissistic is to actually just have that level of high self-esteem. Once you have that level of high and healthy self-esteem regulated within yourself, there's very little a narcissist can do to you. Like, they can't do anything, because apart from energetically draining you, which you can limit if that's the case, apart from that, they can't put you down, because you won't let them, because your opinion of yourself isn't based upon them. You know, your opinion of yourself is based upon your knowledge of God, your own experience, your talents and your own skills, and your own love for your own self. And that's what it's based upon. So this is where I just want to just encourage everyone who's maybe in a relationship with a narcissist, maybe has experienced a narcissist, maybe, you know, don't quite understand what's going on with the narcissist. Just work on yourself, work on that inner person, work on that self-confidence, work on being healthy, work on not caring so much what other people think about you. Work on not being that people pleaser. Work on speaking your truth, you know, clearly and honestly, so that people can hear you. Because you know what? You're worthy and you should speak your truth. And sometimes narcissists don't want to hear your truths because it will rob them of their own power. You know, if you are silent and if you are broken, sounds horrible, but this is perfect for a narcissist to be around. Because where are you going? Because, you know, you have got no self-esteem. They got you. They got you, you know. And again, not trying to be horrible. If you are a narcissist watching this video, I feel like I should speak to you as well. You know, I think you need to try to go on the empath scale. I believe it's possible, 100%. So if you can recognize any traits in yourself, you do further research, if you can get some professional help if you need to, but if you can recognize these traits of narcissism in yourself, try to pray, try to ask God for help, try to seek guidance and counsel, and work on not being so self-centered, you know, work on not caring just about your own goals. Care about the other person's feelings. Even if you don't know them very well, you can still care about somebody else's feelings, you know, and be like, especially if you are narcissistic in your tendencies, make a goal of it to really try to think about the other person. I don't know if this is going to work, me saying these things, but I hope that somebody can hear it. I hope in the spiritual, in their heart, they can hear it and they can say, okay, they can own up to the lies. They can own up to the deception. They can own up to certain things. Manipulation. They can own up and be like, okay, I'm going to be better. I can be better. I think that would be beautiful if I saw that. But like I said, narcissists are known for not getting help. So if you are someone that's affected by narcissism, just protect yourself. Love yourself, protect yourself, remove yourself if you need to. You know, if you need to remove yourself, do that. You know, because you are very, very, very valuable and you don't deserve to be put down in any way. You know, if people are putting you down, you need to remove them from your life. Basically, it's as simple as that. If they are hurting you consistently, You need to, again, remove them. Why are they there? You know, unless you are married, it's a different situation. You have to maybe go to marriage counselling and deal with it that way, or try and pray and whatever. I don't have the advice for married couples. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're barely dating somebody and all this stuff is happening, think twice. If someone's not making you feel good about yourself, why are you even trying? Why are you even in the situation? Especially in the beginning. Someone's supposed to make you feel amazing about yourself. But even in the beginning, be careful, because sometimes narcissists can love bomb you and they can make you feel like a celebrity, give you that much attention, and then all of a sudden they can switch on you. So it's not even about that. If they consistently don't make you feel good about yourself, and you feel rubbish and you're crying a lot and you're thinking, what's wrong with me? Or anything like that, leave them. Leave it alone. Give it to God, pray. Don't deal with it. It's not your issue. It's not your problem. And that's where the empath in me always wants to fix things, always wants to help people. But actually, some people are better off helping themselves. They're better off helping themselves, because if anyone else tries to help them, they will damage the person that's trying to help. And that's as simple as, you know, I don't want to be damaged. I think I've gone through enough in my life, you know. So this is where, you know, some people have to step back a bit and let the person help themselves. And if they can rise up and reach that point of, you know, where they can regulate their own emotions internally and not have to use people around them to regulate their emotions, then perfect. Different story, isn't it? So we just hope for a day like that. This is a very tough topic. Please comment below if you agree with the points that I've made, if you have any more points of narcissism versus healthy self-esteem, if you have experience with a narcissist and what was that like. Yeah, just let's all help each other and let's talk about this issue, because it needs to be spoken about. It gave me a lot of clarity in my head once I figured out. I already knew what narcissism was, but it didn't drop. When it dropped, a lot of things made sense for me. You know, I'm a very in tune person emotionally, and yeah, I can sense, you know, when somebody's being judgmental and putting me down and trying to hurt me in different ways. It's just not a very nice feeling, but, you know, it is what it is. That person obviously needs their own kind of help. So, you know, compassion, but I'm not gonna lay down and expect to be trod on. That's not right for anyone to expect that. So this is where I just want to encourage people to increase their self-esteem. Comment below what your opinion is on this video, if you think I'm right or not, or if you think, you know, I've missed a massive thing out. There's so much I'm learning. If you actually want me to do more videos about narcissism as well, let me know, because I'm considering doing a series on it. I'm not sure. There's a lot, I think, to unpack. So yeah, this has been fun. I'll speak to you soon. This is gonna be a good day. Have a nice day. Bye.